People are sharing testimony after testimony, basically realizing that the pot is boiling and they don't know what to do. They're really struggling.
My rent is $2,000 a month and I live in a townhouse. My car note is $535 a month, and that's on the low end compared to what I see a lot of people pay.
Y'all, I work. My husband works. And it's like, where's the extra money to go enjoy life itself?
I just saw in the mail today, got a inflation refund check. New York State residents, if you're a taxpayer under $75,000 a year, you get $200.
Check the Wayback Machine, look at a menu from 5 years ago, and compare the prices to now. You're going to be astonished. And our electric bills. Oh my God, our electric bills. I just had my highest one ever.
Welcome back to another episode of the Economic Lens, where we talk all things economics, especially inflation in and around America. As always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. That way you can always be up to date on our content. Make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you're always getting the notifications for it. Somebody in the comments said we talk slow. We still talk slow. So bear with us while we get to the videos. But without further ado, let's get started.
It's incredible how many people are breaking down from the cost of living crisis going on in America. People are sharing testimony after testimony, basically realizing that the pot is boiling and they don't know what to do. They're really struggling. In fact, I've actually received feedback thanking me for sharing these videos because a lot of people have been feeling alone. They think that it's just them, but in reality, it's so many people all around us.
I know I'm not the only adult that sits in their car wondering how they're making the most money they've ever made in their entire life, and it still doesn't seem to be enough. My rent is $2,000 a month and I live in a townhouse. My car note is $535 a month, and that's on the low end compared to what I see a lot of people pay. My car insurance is $370 between two vehicles. And every time I fucking turn around, that shit's going up, and they can't even tell you why, other than that the rates have increased. Fucking why? My HOA just decided to charge me $100 because I left my garbage can sitting out in front of my house for a couple of days because I needed to let it dry after dumping it with bleach because there were maggots in there. You rent from these companies and they penny pinch you on every thing that they can. We are being bullied into poverty by these corporations and billionaires. And we have somebody in office gaslighting us in our face, telling us, oh, no, you're not. I don't understand how the families that are living off $15 an hour, like, how are you doing it? How do you pay your rent? What do you do when your car breaks down? I don't know, dude. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I'm blessed compared to a lot of people, and it's still hard.
Drugs. If you wanted to know how people who don't make enough money to survive make their money. No, but seriously, that's one of those sentiments that I'm right there with her. I make the most money I've ever made in my life. I make more money than my parents made. And for a long time, I thought my parents were rich. They weren't rich, but they had enough money that their child thought they were, okay? And I make more money than they made. It's a different time. Stuff just costs so much more. Now, my rent isn't $2,000, but it is $1,850. It's all, it might as well be. Car notes, I've told you guys this before. If you've been with the channel since the beginning, I've told you before. Car notes, that's $1,200-$1,300 out the gate. That's just a car note. Then it's almost $300 for the insurance, right? And then everything else that goes on top of that. So I'm right there with on that one, man. I'm right. Y'all put it in the comments if that's something that you guys experience as well. But I know that I can't be the only one. And we know that they not the only one because, well,
I truly cannot be the only person in this world that feels like I'm just existing. Y'all, I work. My husband works. And it's like, where's the extra money to go enjoy life itself? At this point, I'm only living to work. Like, there is no enjoyment except for to just work. I am ready for that point in my life where I can go to work, but then on my free time, I have all the money to go do all the things I want to do. But for now, it's just working and existing.
I'm not paying federal taxes, and the reason for that is the system is completely broken and is no longer serving normal people. I just have been overwhelmed, honestly. There's so many comments at this point, specifically on TikTok, of people who are doing the same and have done the same for a long time. And I think it's amazing to see everyday people coming together and to feel like we really are going to win.
I got a question. I am in my early 30s, okay? My husband and I, we make good money. We're doing just fine. I've talked about how we live in a 1994 double wide and don't have a huge mortgage that we can't handle, all of that. My question is, there are so many women families around my age, especially like in my town. I'm sure it happens other places as well, but it's like the husband will have a decent job, right? I'm sure making fine money. The mom will either like stay at home or, have a decent job, maybe like a teacher or, a nurse, like a good job. But they're both driving brand new vehicles. I'm not talking about the base model like I got, okay? They're in like the souped up versions of the vehicles, and they have like the brand new, custom built homes with the granite and the marble and the, I don't know, whatever the nice flooring is, okay? They've got that. They've got 1 or 2 kids. They're just gallivanting all over the place, everywhere, and I'm trying to figure out, are you just living in debt, or are you, I don't know, somehow managing paycheck to paycheck, or are your parents helping you out? Like, if you're one of those people that I'm talking about, I mean, absolute no disrespect. I'm just trying to figure out how you can live.
We got some good videos in today. They got some good videos. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm probably one of those type of families that they see out like that. You were just with us, right? What people have to understand is that us in our 30s, the ones born in the 80s and 90s, if you didn't get lucky and get rich, right? The way that we're doing those things are the same way we did them growing up. Our parents are still paying for them. When we go to amusement parks, I'm not paying for that. I don't have the extra capital to go pay for these type of trips. I would have to save up for that. So when we do go and we do have these things, either it's because I'm somebody's son, I'm invited, I'm VIP because I am this person's child who happens to be very high up in this organization, right? Things like that. Like, it's not on my own merit, right? One of the things is like my daughters, they do a lot of ballet things, right? My son, he helps out with the Nutcracker performances. He helps out backstage setting up the Nutcracker for the international shows and things like that. And that's purely because when I was growing up, my little sister was in ballet and was a part of the organization that ended up doing that. And I helped in the back. And so my mom still does that. She still helps in that organization. And because of that, we still have access. So we can still go to all these events. We can still meet all the people. We can still do all of these things, right? But if my parents were to go away, per se, all of that would end. Because we're not doing any better than y'all. We're all struggling. We're all broke. We all make the most money we ever have, and just, it's not enough. And we all got to keep asking our parents, hey, let me hold something. Get that retirement money, let me hold something. Because I ain't got it. I need it, and I ain't got it.
That way, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. I'm almost a little jealous. I just, as a normal person who does not like to spend a lot of money, I'm genuinely like asking how y'all are making this work.
So, good old Governor Hochul, I just saw in the mail today, got a inflation refund check. New York State residents, if you're a taxpayer under $75,000 a year, you get $200. So they sent me a check for $200, but yet the gas prices last week went up 19 cents, I think 19.9 cents. So another 20 cents a gallon for gas. Groceries are still through the fucking roof, and Hochul sends me $200. I just don't understand how they think $200 can do anything to help anybody. And an inflation refund check. Like I said, these politicians are so disconnected with the real world that they think that $200 is going to change someone's life. You know what would have been a good start? $2,000. $2,000 would have been a nice start, but they're not in touch with the reality. So yeah, that's never going to happen. So enjoy your extra steak with your $200 when you go to Aldi's this week.
Have you noticed that the greed in America isn't even subtle anymore? Like, they've just stopped pretending. Whether it's the shrinkflation at the grocery store, everything's getting so much smaller. Whether it's the fast food, it's practically inedible at this point. It's so bad. If you want to get real mad, check the Wayback Machine, look at a menu from 5 years ago, and compare the prices to now. You're going to be astonished. And our electric bills. Oh my God, our electric bills. I just had my highest one ever. All because we're funding these AI data centers. You know, how come whenever a billionaire has a passion project, we're the ones that have to subsidize that? Even coffee shops. Places we're supposed to be hanging out and talking to other humans. They purposefully make them so they're uncomfortable. They want you to leave as fast as possible. Drink your latte and get out. You might want to sit down for this one. If you're at your doctor's appointment and they just ask you, do you drink alcohol? And you answer that, they're charging you for that question now. That's $50 for an alcohol screening. I can't even make this up. I know this isn't just America, but it feels like it's cranked up to 11 here. Am I wrong? Greedy landlords, greedy CEOs, greedy restaurants, greedy everything. And it feels like you and me are the people that are paying the bill. That's why we're leaving. My girlfriend and I, we're moving to Portugal. I know it's not a bed of roses there, it's not perfect, but at least there, life feels like it has a little bit more dignity. I'd rather live life in a place that feels a little bit more human than stay on this sinking ship.
It's almost everything we do in life that's kind of feeding the pockets of somebody else. Even our pastimes. And you see everything in between getting more and more corporate. It's not, hey, let's go to the movies. No, hey, let's go fund this corporate company. We get to go watch this nice movie. But instead of paying $20 for a movie, popcorn, and a drink, it's $35.
Just for the tickets.
For one person.
Right. Yeah, no.
And a family of 4.
You spend a couple of $100.
I remember $40. That's all you needed for the family to go watch movies. But like everything is you were saying with the food, you gotta pay more for organic. Why ain't our food organic? Why is our food not organic? Like that don't. Right. But it's a corporate move for everything. Vehicles, electronics, even job equipment. You see a lot of equipment nowadays being made with less quality material. Even bed frames. You don't find hardy bed frames anymore. Most of it is quick put together and easy to break if you jump on it wrong. Right. That's the go-to now. It's no real beds. There are real beds, but that's not what's even advertised. Like I need a bed frame, so they're gonna find you some of the cheapest stuff. If you want a real bed frame, you gotta know what you're looking for and where to look for it, because it's not gonna be right there. Yeah, it's just crazy how everything is winding up.
And the other guy, he was talking about the $200. I understand that. I agree. $200 don't do nothing for nobody. I just said $200. That's going to the movies one time with the family. Like that ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You spend $200 on a game controller nowadays. That's not that much money. But he was saying something about like $2,000 would be a good start and things like that. You're kind of advocating for giving money. And you got to keep in mind that we're talking about inflation as a whole on this channel. Giving out all that money. If you don't like inflation now, hey, you gonna be
in for a rude awakening.
Kicking yourself in the foot. Like, God, what did I do? Because, and that's one thing that I think people should understand, where it's like, you're not grateful for things you don't understand. But if you understood how the money worked, you would be grateful for the $200. Because the truth is, they could have gave you nothing. That's the truth. The truth is that they didn't have to give you anything, and you were still going to be a loyal citizen of the state. You weren't going to go and move to Portugal like the next guy said. You know what I'm saying? You're still going to be there. You're still going to pay your mortgage. You're still going to do all the things that you were doing before. And you're still going to be an upstanding citizen for that community. It's still going to happen. And they could have given you nothing. But they said, you know what? I got to give them something because these are my people. I got to give them something, but I don't want to give them too much to cause inflation to be out the roof. Here's $200. I hope it helps you. That's what should have been conveyed to anybody that was in the situation. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one thing to look at, is that inflation is caused by things. So you don't want to be the cause of it. Put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to make sure that you always get updated on our content. But with that, man, this has been the Economic Lens, where we talk about economics and inflation in and around America. You guys have a good night, and thank you for watching with me.